Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 226 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as what we watched or played over the week. My name's Barry, a Tottenham Hotspur fan who just beat Man United and embarrassed them on national TV with my fellow Sunderland fan.
Yes, Sunderland fan for today, pro skater. My name is Craig.
Name is Craig. It's you and I saw your post about like Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Is it some sort of anniversary or something like that for them?
25-year anniversary as of today when we're recording of the first game, 1999.
I'm older than Tony Hawk. That is the
You're not older than Tony Hawk. You're
I
older
know.
tip than the game.
Yeah, I'm older than the game franchise.
There you go.
That's how I know I'm old now.
Not by much.
Yeah, you're right. Not by much. Only 5 years. If I stop aging, I'll give him a chance to catch up. What always I have to catch up on every week is the news. And this week was an interesting news cycle, if I must say so myself.
Yep.
First thing I will jump into is a follow-up on last week. Jason Schreier of Bloomsburg has posted quite a lengthy interview / research investigation on what happened with Annapurna and the mass resignation that happened earlier this month. A lot of it, and this is me really summing it up, a lot of it has to do with claims and a lot of fights with the owner of it, Megan Ellison. She is the daughter of a billionaire owner, so like this is, I guess, kind of her toy company to play with, so to speak. But a lot of this has to do with going back to all the way to COVID. Annapurna is also a movie studio. If people did not know that, they released good movies like American Hustle's what it's called.
Yeah.
I believe Her, I think is another one,
Yep.
and Zero Dark 30, which is by far probably their most acclaimed picture to date. During COVID, a lot of people felt like the gaming division was taking hits and stuff like that for the sake of the movies being very like they made some bad movies as well, and it didn't help that COVID like stopped people from going to the movies and things like that. So if you're interested in it, Jason Schreier did a really good job on talking more about it, more about the mass resignations with Annapurna. But what an interesting sort of story to follow up on with everything that's been going on with gaming, especially voluntarily, like resigning is crazy considering all of the layoffs that have been going on.
It's kind of like when you're like wherever you work, and this happens everywhere, and you're working with like your friends, and you're like, we should all just quit. This sucks. We should all just quit. They actually did it.
Yeah,
which
they
is
actually
wild.
Did, yeah.
Very cool for them, though. I mean, good on them for standing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just stand up for yourself that takes a lot of courage. So good on them. We then have two, like the Tokyo Game Show happened. We also have Xbox's show that was at 6 a.m. in the morning, mind you,
Yep.
and Sony's show as well.
Yep.
So let's see here. Which one do you want to tackle first?
I mean, I guess you'd start with the Xbox.
All right, let's do Xboxes. All right, I'll be completely honest, a very minimal showcase. Not much was shown, but they did show a couple things with Square Enix games. A lot of them are going to Game Pass. I believe this probably has a lot to do with Square Enix stopping this whole exclusivity stuff that they've been having with Sony. Yes, like, historically, PlayStation has always been on Square Enix's good side. But these days, you have to be releasing things on multiple platforms in order to make money. Like, you're just limiting your fan base to the point and limiting your opportunity to make money by not putting it on more platforms. We then had like Katamari. I did not expect re-roll and retread kind of thing. We're getting that as well. A Age of Mythology Retold DLC. We are getting the Chinese mythology, which I am a-okay with. It's a very fun game and going there. But the biggest point I had to talk about was two big points. I'll talk about first Threads of Time. I am super excited for what Threads of Time looks like. It looks like it has kind of the animation sort of budget with Sea of Stars, which also makes me want to go back and actually finish Sea of Stars, if I'm being honest.
You should.
And And it also looks like a lot of the time traveling stuff with Chrono Trigger. A lot of
Yep.
people are looking at that. Now, comments on it, like it is a pretty big, it is a humble game, so that's pretty good for them. It has over 13 million views on
Yeah.
YouTube. People are excited for this game. In the comments, a lot of them are like, "Hey, hopefully this story holds up." Like you gotta. Chrono Trigger did a very unique thing in how it pulled off its story. Hopefully this game can live up to that. I'd love a modern age Chrono Trigger, if you will. I
For
am
sure.
very excited for this one, and I want you to imagine, Craig, if you could just close your eyes
Yes.
for me.
I got you.
You're an Xbox fan
Yes.
and you loved Titanfall and you kept
Yes.
asking Xbox to make more Titanfall games
Mm-hmm.
or Titan games. So
Yes.
instead, they didn't give you those games. They gave you a turn-based Titan game where you're
Yeah.
in your Titan doing turn-based gameplay,
Yep.
and then another game that's kind of like an action RPG thing that isn't Titanfall, but you're in a Titan type thing again. I just thought it was so funny how it's not like a Titanfall 3,
Yeah.
but we got other Titan looking type things. But what are your thoughts about the Xbox Tokyo Game Show and what else I missed?
Um, I mean, they were kind of hyping this up. It was underwhelming. I thought. I didn't think there
Yeah,
was
I thought so
anything that
too.
was like. I mean, there's a couple mana games, and the Katamari game is they threw all those on Game Pass, so you can play those if you want. Not the newest mana game, but some of the other ones. The Pixel remaster coming over to Xbox is cool. Final Fantasy Pixel remaster.
Hmm.
I felt like that'd be a perfect one to put on Game Pass, but it is not. Yeah, I mean, just kind of underwhelming. Nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. As as much as I wanted it to be more, because you usually think of Tokyo Game Show and you're thinking, oh, like maybe we're gonna get some stuff. Maybe we're
Yep.
fine, some whether it's some JRPG type stuff. It's kind of the place to announce that, if
Mhm.
you would. But that we really didn't get much of that, surprisingly. But a lot of Square Enix stuff is coming to it. Like the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster, like the physical editions were really hard to get a hold of. So
Mhm.
it's nice to know that if you really want to play that stuff, you can play it digitally on on Game Pass. So good
Yeah,
for game today. I think that conference was a win for Game Pass
I think
people.
so. Yeah, for sure.
Sony, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, Sony.
Sony's press con so I'll preface this. Sony's press conference I don't think was that great, but
Yeah,
compared to Xbox's, definitely looked
better.
a lot better.
Yep.
Um First, so while we're talking about this, so Sony announced the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. No surprise there. But in the wake of this, they announced that if you had the game for PS4, it's a $10 upgrade. That is perfect.
Perfect.
I'm
Yeah.
very glad that they went and did this. But in the hate of consumerism and in the hate of people saving money, they raised the price of the base game for Horizon Zero Dawn so that people just couldn't buy, Horizon Zero Dawn at 20 to $30
Yep.
and then pay the $10 upgrade. So I feel bad. Like that is not cool on
Yep.
Sony's part. As much as a Sony fanboy, as people call me, that's not a cool move. Like,
You could probably still find it like a used copy, right?
oh,
At like
absolutely. Yeah.
GameStop for like 10
Yeah.
bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of it had to do with digital people as well. So if you're a digital
Hmm.
person, like if they raise the price on it, you can't do anything.
Right.
But this is another kind of incentive like, hey, stop buying digital and go back to physical because Sony can do this to you.
Hmm.
Like and that's kind of the sad portion of it is you have to accept it, especially if you're interested in the remaster. Will I go back and play it? I will probably play a little bit of it, but I don't see myself finishing that game again. It took me
No.
like 7 tries to finish it the first time.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. They also took it off PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
which
So,
isn't really that big of a surprise, honestly.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to pay the 10 bucks. Maybe.
Yeah, I will probably pay the $10. It's not that bad
Hmm.
considering. Next up, we got the release of Power World on PS5 that I want to mention on that showcase. But just so people are aware, Power World is also in on hold indefinitely in Japan, in lieu of the
Yep.
Nintendo lawsuit. So if you listen to us from Japan, I am sorry that you won't get to play Power World right away. Uh, this lawsuit sucks. We talked about it last week. I think it kills a lot of creativity and kills competition,
Yep.
but we need to see what like these rulings come down with first before saying whether or not this is a killer kind of thing to this studio. It made
Yep.
a lot of money off of their stuff. Lake House DLC for Alan Wake 2, and it ended with a jump scare, so I am not excited to to
Yep.
play this. This looks very much creepy, very much it didn't show very much. It showed a lot of and it showed a lot of, I forget what they're called in Control,
Oh
but
man.
it's that picture of it's the inside of the Federal Bureau of Control.
Hmm.
So that looks good though. I'm excited for the DLC
Me too. Me too.
in
The other
October.
DLCs were good, but this seems like more of the actual game, which is what
Yeah,
we want.
this looks like more of what we wanted.
Hmm.
We then have Monster Hunter Wilds. We get the release date February 28th. Super excited for Monster Hunter Wilds as well. This game looks great. It'll just be a matter of whether or not I decide to go with a PS5 version or with a PC version.
Hmm.
It's going to be there. And I myself rejoice in Nier DLC for Stellar
I
Blade.
knew you were gonna be so excited for that. Is it just a costume, or what are they
Not
doing?
not much has been said. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. Nobody really knows what more this is. I imagine it's just a costume and the release of photo mode, which people have
Right.
been asking for in
Right.
Stellar Blade. But if you were to create the Barry DLC for Stellar Blade, this is
That's
it.
it. That's
This
it.
is I is it gonna will I buy it if it's $40? Probably. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna probably buy it. I'm just hoping it's not $40. Sony, I hate that I put that idea in your mind.
Yep. Now it's gonna be 40. I literally
Yeah.
looked at my phone when I was watching that, waiting for a text from you. Because as soon as I saw near, I was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna be
Yeah.
all over it."
Yeah, and I was. I'm still very excited for
You gonna
what
play through it
for
again?
yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay.
And they released the entire soundtrack on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
and mm, that's
It's a good soundtrack, right?
that soundtrack of the one top two soundtracks of the year, and that's with remake
Yeah.
FF7 reunion up there as well. So I'll be interested to see how they go from there. But the biggest news, what they announced, and with a little bit of with a little side of controversy into the pot,
Sprinkle it.
uh, Sucker Punch's new game, Ghost of Yotei or I think it's Yotei
Is it? Yeah.
or it's
Yotai,
Yotai.
Yotai. It might be
Yeah,
Yotai. I don't know.
yeah. I thought it was Yotai, then some people said Yotei.
Could be.
So, but that might be the white people pronunciation, to be completely honest. Um, It is a sequel, like their spiritual successor to Ghost of Tsushima. The little bit of sprinkle of drama on the thing is people are upset that it's not Jin,
Yeah.
that it's not as the same character. It is someone different. Could it be an offspring? Sure, it could be, but people did not care.
Right.
You and I, Craig, are the type of people who don't really care like
Yep.
what gender you are playing, whether you are agender or non-binary. I just want to enjoy the game and play the story. Um, this is like we're most likely going to enjoy the story and enjoy the gameplay, no matter who you're controlling. I just find it very like stupid that this is what people are upset about. Like
Yep.
like we just had Star Wars Outlaws, and people are already complaining that they're woke because they have a female protagonist in Star Wars Outlaws. Like, grow up. Like
Yeah.
gamers are just gamers can be some of the worst people in the world, and just stop with that stuff. This is just be excited for the game. Be excited we're getting anything,
Yep.
and who knows? Maybe he shows up in the game.
Possible. I literally was like, well, because I finished Black Myth Wukong this week,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh well, I guess that tells me what my next game on PlayStation is gonna have to be because I never beat Ghost of Tsushima. I
yeah.
probably should. I'll try it again for the 18th time. I just
I
can't
don't
get into
blame you
it.
there. I don't blame you either, but like I definitely started to get into it once that story and the more of the stuff
Hmm.
ended up coming into it. So I was in the end of it, I was happy with my
Okay.
decision to finish that game. Anything else? Like I have two other kind of video game things, but did I miss anything from the PlayStation thing you thought I should? We did get a couple
Um,
VR games.
I don't think so. I think you got them all.
Okay, cool. All right. The two other things I want to talk about is we did get a new trailer for The Last of Us Season 2.
Hmm.
Druckmann did come out and say expect changes similar to what happened in Season 1. So I don't think we're going to be in the lake of, you know, rewriting the entire story, but you do have
Right.
to adapt things to TV. But I am excited for that. Like, people kind of did like a shot by shot of the game and what they were portraying in the trailer. I thought that was really cool. I
Yeah.
thought that was cool they were able to do that. And lastly, Ubisoft has delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows until February 25th in wake of a shareholders meeting coming out saying that they did not make as much money as expected off of Outlaws. Expectations are always high for something that has the Star Wars name attached to it,
Yep.
and that the team that is making the new Assassin's Creed Shadows game didn't say that was the case, but said that they needed a little bit more time to polish up the game. Uh, I'm okay with it being delayed. I've got no problem with that.
Same.
Um, Yeah, like I know people are mad or people are like, "Oh, this is typical kind of thing nowadays," but just like the game will come out when it's ready. I will be playing it. I will be playing it and I'll give it a shot. But if it means I can clear my holiday calendar for another game, I'll gladly take that.
Yeah, that was November, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's enough games coming out this next couple months. We're really not going to miss that game not coming out, especially if it's not ready. Like, would
Yeah.
you rather them release it a buggy Assassin's Creed? Because we've had those and they're
And no
not
one ever
great.
likes them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it
People
time.
yeah, people got to decide what they want. But that's all I had for news. Did I miss anything or anything you want to expand on?
Couple smaller ones. We talked a little bit at the beginning about Tony Hawk. Today, as of this recording, is the 25th anniversary of the first game. Tony Hawk today did come out and say that he's like he literally put like I'm not. They told me not to say anything, but Tony Hawk in Activision is going to continue, which is good news for Tony Hawk
Yeah.
fans. They're working on something. Um, so I'm always down for more, obviously. So that was a big excitement for me. They just have not announced anything. I thought maybe they would today. It's a perfect day to do it, but they did not. Um, did you see the Death Stranding 2 stuff, the photo mode?
I had not seen photo mode, but I did see that he is putting a character based off of Ellie Fanning named Yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Um, if you have not seen it, go look up the photo mode that he showed off for Death Stranding. It is, I mean, again, it's just a photo mode, so just a part of the main game. But my God, if some of those don't look like it's almost indistinguishable between real life and video game in that photo mode. Like the characters in it are doing like poses on their own, like kind of very natural looking movements. It wild. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Again, we probably should finish this game, right?
Yeah, I'm watching it right
Are
now.
you seeing it? That's
Oh my
wild.
god, yeah.
Yep. So it seems, I mean, it's Hideo. He's going to do crazy stuff. That's what he does. But that like kind of blew my mind when I saw that photo mode. Like they're just pulling out poses for you and stuff. Um, so very cool. If you haven't seen that, check that out. Um, and again, I know we wanted to finish that game this year. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think I'm going to be doing the same thing I did with like Alan Wake,
Hmm.
where I with Alan Wake 2, where I am going to be forced to watch a it's probably a 2-hour
Yeah.
video on explaining the game and what happens, and that will save me a lot of time from
Yeah.
playing Death Stranding 1. And I
Because
believe it'll
I
be
am
okay.
super excited to see what Death Stranding 2 is. If it's more of the same or if it's like something completely different, you know? But everything that I've seen so far is like, man, he's going full crazy again, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I that might be the way to do it. Maybe I just watch a recap and call it a day because we both tried. It's not for lack of trying for us.
Yeah. So on my own fun here, from this video, top comments on this. So this is what he's been up to. I'm not complaining at all. Another top comment. Yeah, this game is definitely just an excuse for Kojima to scan as many beautiful women as possible so that he could make this stuff. I respect the vision. God, Kojima, you dog.
Yep,
Oh boy. But it like that photo mode is like it's
it's
fun.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
it photo mode right now, and it's kind of in its early stages, and even with like Stellar Blade, for example, it's very stagnant. It
Mm-hmm.
is very you have to control every single little bit of anything to make like a good photo come out. And
Yeah.
I'm a photo and I like taking photos. I am a photographer,
Yep.
but like being a menu scrambler trying to like make a good picture, it is not fun for me. I
No.
do not enjoy it in video games. But this, it kind of seems like they're willing to like make it look a little bit more natural, so that way like the characters, you don't have to cycle through 700 different poses to get them to where you want to.
Yep.
And I think that's a cool thing. I honestly think that this photo mode is pretty cool, and what photo modes could be
Yeah.
in a better way.
I always see like the pictures people take with photo mode, and every time I see one, I'm like, man, that's incredible. I'll never take one like that because I don't have the patience to like mess with
Yeah.
all the stuff they put in there. But yeah, this seems more like accessible, right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go into photo mode with these characters. They're gonna pose on their own, so I can just sit there and take a bunch of photos and see which one I like best, just like in real life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good idea. I think it's something interesting and different because every game has photo mode now, like every single game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised that photo mode is such a big thing. Like
Hmm.
I I don't see a lot about it. I'm gonna have to try to. I might do a little deep diving into video game photography. That might be my next big hit here, is looking
PlayStation on
into that
like
more.
their Instagram account, they do like photos of the week every week.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I
Yeah,
know
and I
that.
do follow that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So people are out there putting a lot of time and effort into this stuff. Even with Black Myth Wukong, there's been some amazing photos out of photo mode as well.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's something that people enjoy. It's just not something I have the patience for.
Yeah. Exactly. Me either.
Last thing I have, if we go back to Jason Schreier again, um, talking about Horizon, he is saying Horizon Online is next, and Horizon 3 is a long ways off. Do you want Horizon Online?
I don't really care for it.
Me
I'll be
neither.
honest. I feel like it's going to be a very knockoff Monster Hunter type thing,
Hmm.
trying to get PlayStation. Like the the monster design is incredible in Horizon. Like you could absolutely have some really cool monsters that you're hunting in an online friendly environment if that's the route they decide to go. I just want Horizon 3 so I can figure out what the heck is going on in this story, cuz like they
Yes.
left on a pretty big cliffhanger in Forbidden West. So the fact to hear it's a long ways off isn't really like it's not encouraging to me as a Horizon fan.
Hmm.
Um Look, if Horizon multiplayer is a lot of fun and I enjoy the hell out of it, I'll shut up. But um my expectations, especially considering Sony's recent success with online games and how they're pretty much 0 for 2
Yep.
with Last of Us Online being completely scrapped, Concord pretty much almost could be resulting in the end of another studio.
Yep.
You're really testing your patience here. You might strike out, and that might be
Hmm.
bit, and that may cause concern for a lot of that studio that
I
has
just
brought out good games.
I just don't see a need for a Horizon online game in any way. That is a single player experience. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe people are out there, but like when I think of online games, I'm thinking of like GTA, right? And like you're not doing a GTA style game with Horizon. I don't think. I don't know. And they already had the Lego. Horizon game coming
Yeah.
out. Like you have the remaster. Like this is the perfect time to go all in on Horizon 3 and just get it ready to go.
Yeah, it's crazy how much like of a push Horizon feels like it's getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I
Weren't
think
they
that's
talking
only
about like
because
a TV show or movie too?
yeah, there's a TV show and movie in the works with
Yeah.
Netflix. So it's one of those things where we are going to be getting more Horizon, even if we don't want it.
Yeah.
We're
Just gonna be
having too
shoved
much
down
of
our
it.
throat.
Yes, exactly.
That was the last news I had though.
All right, there we go. So speaking of games, let's
Yes.
talk about the games we played.
Mhm.
So this week has been very busy for me. I have not started Zelda. I have not downloaded the Metaphor demo. I've been trying to get Persona 3 off my backlog.
Okay.
I haven't even started Space Marine 2. So the moment I finally get done with Persona 3 Reload, I feel like I can finally move on and be a part of society again with the newer games. But as of right now, like it's P3R and FC25. That's what
Okay.
I play.
Like I said earlier, I don't need to talk about it, but I did push Wukong off the list. I'm done with Wukong for now. But I did start Zelda. I'm super early. I did play a decent amount of Epic Mickey, the remaster, and then obviously the Metaphor demo. That was where I put the most time this week.
So I think what we're probably gonna do is like for me, I've talked enough about my two games.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you have the floor because I did talk. Holy, I did talk a lot during the news segment. And I'll just probably ask you questions just based
Okay.
on what you're talking about. So
Okay.
I'll let you take the floor.
I'll start with Zelda because that's where I put the least amount of time this week. I I like the idea of like this game starts you off playing as Link, kind of to throw you off. Like we know you're not playing as Link in this game, but to have like a little intro where you're Link and then switching over to Princess Zelda is a good idea. These games they don't normally grab me, but I'm like really trying to give this a fair shot because normally I think the last one I played like an hour, maybe. I don't know. Did you
The
play
last
that one longer?
Link's Awakening, you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I did eventually beat it.
Okay.
Um, I guess my main thing is this is that same engine that
Yeah.
Link's Awakening is in. Have you run in to frame rate issues or
Oh
anything
yeah.
like that? Okay.
It's pretty bad.
Um, this is again why like Switch 2 needs to come out. Like
Yep.
a part of me doesn't want to touch this Zelda game with
Yeah.
it until it either gets updated and bugs fixed for frame rate until the Switch 2 comes out and I know it plays
Yep.
smoothly.
Yeah, and
Cuz
I have not even I
yeah,
didn't even attempt to play it handheld. I'm playing it docked because I thought it
gotcha.
might help. It's
Yeah.
still pretty choppy. Yeah, this is probably a good idea to wait for the Switch 2 on this one. It's got to be soon. I know we keep saying that, but the idea is interesting, right? Not playing as Link is awesome. I
Yeah.
really like it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just very buggy. So I'm gonna keep trying in between everything else, but for now, I would say it's probably safe to wait or pass.
Yeah.
It's not going to go on sale, so it's going to be $60 for the rest of time, right?
Yep. So no matter when you get it, just
You're going
wait.
to pay or 70 because you know the Switch 2 games will be 70.
Yeah, there's gonna be like an upgrade thing or something like that. Oh man,
Hmm.
that would piss me off so much.
Yep. Epic Mickey Remaster. I'll
Yeah.
just move up the list of time put in. Um, if you've never played the Epic Mickey games, I really enjoy them. It's a good platformer with a nice mix of like Disney lore and also the using paint and using thinner to like
Mm.
add to the background or take away from the background. The remaster on it is incredibly well done. It looks really nice. Um, I don't know that like if people are coming in cold and have never played an Epic Mickey game, is this gonna stick? Maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is something in 2024 people are like, yeah, Epic Mickey, you know?
Yeah, like that's me. I did not play the originals
Okay.
or the because there were two games, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, I never played either of the two games, so I that game is on my list to get and play eventually. But as of right now, with my backlog, I'm just not going to.
Right.
But what console are you playing it on?
PS5.
Okay, so you would probably suggest like I haven't heard anything about the Switch version of the game,
I have
but
not either. I would say
okay,
go with PlayStation or Xbox though, because
Yeah.
it does
Okay.
look nice. They did do a
Yeah.
lot of work to make it look
Good.
current gen. Um, I mean, I like the stories. I like the paint idea. It works.
Mm,
Using Oswald as like the the bad version of Mickey, it all works. It's all really good. There's a reason they remastered this game because
yeah.
it is a well loved game and series. So I would say check it out. But this is probably something if you wait on, you'll be able to get for $30 and totally worth it at $30.
Yeah. If I can get it at 30, that'd be nice. I'm more afraid that this is gonna be one of those games because physical editions of games are just harder to get now.
Yep.
So hopefully by the time Black Friday comes and it gets discounted, I can get it.
Right.
Or I'm gonna regret not grabbing it when I could have.
True. All right, and then we'll go into the meat and potatoes, if you will. The
The
metaphor.
metaphor man.
I guess I'm the metaphor guy.
You are the
Um,
metaphor man.
First and foremost, metaphor demo. Uh, it was I'm playing on Xbox, right? 55 gigs for this demo. Um, as of today, I'm still going 6 hours in on this demo. I
What a
don't know when
demo.
this thing ends. At this point, I'm like, did I download the whole game? Because it just keeps going. Like I keep waiting for it to be like purchase the game, but it's just like
Yeah.
after a cutscene, it just keeps going and it keeps going, and I'm like, okay, I guess if you want me to keep playing, I'll keep playing. Let's see, a little bit different than Persona for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm enjoying. Here's what I'm liking. First and foremost, I like the idea that like the big, like enemies that you're facing are humans. That's what they call them, humans. So they are like human people, but they're like they look weird and they look like twisted, and it's a very cool art style. It's the same type of Persona art style. The music is there. Uh, the battle system is pretty much the same. Um, you're the more Persona guy than me, but I have played some Persona. It has a very like you run around the world. If you sneak up on an enemy, you can hit them like 2 or 3 times and then go into your turn-based battle for an advantage. I don't know if that's a normal. Is that a normal Persona thing or not?
So in past Persona games, what you've been able to do is initiate what's like a advantage.
Yeah.
So in Metaphor, you're able to actually do damage and start the battle on
Right.
what I'd say is like on a favorable foot for your work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Persona, really the only chance you get is like an ambush where
Okay.
you start the battle and your entire team will turn before the
Right.
opponent does. So there's a little bit more of a reason to do that in Metaphor with them actually taking damage, and some enemies you don't even need to go into like
Yeah,
turn-based combat for.
that's super nice. Like if you hit the left trigger, that your companion, the fairy, you can do like a scan, and if you scan them and they come up as like underpowered or blue, you can just hit them normally, and you don't even go into battle. It'll just give you the experience and the money that you would have gotten from beating them, which is a super good time save.
Yeah.
Um, so I enjoy the way it looks. The story is I'm down with. It's a very cool idea. Um, it kind of like, the king has been murdered, uh, and then it's super hard for. I'm trying to follow, so you have to bear with me because I'm trying to follow because there's so much talking. But the king was assassinated. Um, at his funeral, his face shows up in the clouds. Bear with me here. His face shows up in the clouds. He's dead, but instead of his rightful heir taking over the kingdom, he says that there's a bunch of different people who are eligible to be king, and all the people who are eligible have this little like crown that shows up above their forehead. And whoever shows themselves the most worthy will become king. So that in turn plays into how you play the game and how you spend your time, just like in Persona. You have your afternoons, your mornings, afternoons, and evenings. And depending on what you do, grows, levels up and grows certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you grow, obviously, the more the people in the kingdom like you, your name gets out there more, that kind of stuff. So you have that going on, which is the social side that all Persona games have. But then the battle side, every time you meet someone and become friends, I don't know, they always shake hands. You get a new class that you can switch to at any time. You can level up your classes. Um, I'm using like the main character as a support, as a heal, which I don't think I've ever done in an RPG before. My main character has always been like damage, 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 which
Yeah,
is kind of,
you're the main character.
yeah, but it's kind of nice to do a support role. Like, I'm healing and letting the other people do their thing. Um, so I think I like this better than the Persona games, if I'm being honest.
I'm excited to
Yeah.
finally play it when it happens. It seems like a lot of the qualities that came from Royal
Mm-hmm.
have now made its way over to Metaphor, and according to interviews, like this game is more of a celebration
Yeah.
and a reimagining of what Persona is to this team.
Yeah.
So I see you playing it. So the fact that you're playing it means that you're enjoying your time.
I am.
Uh,
I think
yeah,
like the main thing is it is lengthy when the cutscenes are lengthy, the talking is lengthy, which I expect. I'm not always down for all the talking, but you know what you're getting into. Some of it,
yeah,
like the weird is there, like being able to ride your sword around like a skateboard. Why?
metal as hell. Yeah,
Why?
for
Um,
style.
I do appreciate that, like when you're in the main area of the kingdom and you're riding around on your sword, the people there are like, "Is that guy riding a sword?" Like I could appreciate them like calling it out. Um, but you do have like, uh, I'm in the part where it's like, okay, after like 5 hours where it's pretty linear. Honestly, it's very linear at the beginning, and then you get to the point where it's like, okay, you need to go to the catacombs, so you have 9 days to do that, or you can do side quests, very Persona like. You can talk to people and spend your afternoon talking. But then I went to the catacombs after I felt like I was significantly leveled up enough, and it was the very Persona S like levels in the catacombs
Yeah,
that you're going up, which is cool. But yeah, I think it's you're gonna love it. Craig's gonna love it. Am I gonna stick with it the whole way through? I hope so.
yeah,
I appreciate that the demo is gonna allow you to carry over your progress. Because if I had to do that all over again, I probably would not play it.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't blame you either.
Yeah. But what I've played so far, I do enjoy, which I did not expect to like it that much. I'm gonna
Good.
keep playing and see how far it actually lets me play because I feel like 6 hours for a demo is insane.
Yeah, I feel like maybe because it's like a prologue demo that they're pretty much announcing this as,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and considerably like the time to ratio spent
Yeah.
on Persona games,
Right.
like maybe 6 hours is usually the amount of a normal demo. So maybe
Six
that's
out of
what
a
they're.
hundred.
Yeah, 6 out of a
Yeah.
hundred. I think you'll be just fine. I think we could let you play 10 hours of the game compared to other ones that are like 1 or 2
True.
for a
It,
10 or 20 hour game for that matter.
I don't, it's just been blowing my mind that I'm still going.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I cannot believe they put this much in a demo. This is wild. But good on them. They're confident in their product.
Yeah, and they're also just trying to create like get it in people's hands so they can
Mm-hmm.
play it, which that is an important part. Using that for demos is definitely a lost art. It feels like
So are you gonna do the demo or are you just gonna wait?
I would like to. I want to try. I want to start the demo and play the demo.
Okay,
So I'm
perfect.
hoping to play it sometime this week in the midst of everything going on
You
in
just got to
this.
stop playing FIFA. Oh, FC.
That's
Sorry.
that's a big ask. It's either that you got to stop playing Persona, got to stop a lot of stuff that I've been enjoying at least. So
Fair.
I'll have to see. I will make time to at least start it. That's for sure.
Okay.
But you said that was it for games for
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
Well, as you can imagine, movie wise, really the only thing I had is if you did watch Nausicaa Valley in the Valley of the Wind. If you did watch that, we could talk about it. If you didn't,
Um,
I could let you just
I
talk.
got about a half hour in and I was like not digging it.
Okay, so you're okay. So not into the movie. All right, we could talk about that.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, no. What other things did you watch?
I watched Blink Twice, Last Straw, and Amber Alert.
Okay, Hmm. All horror type movies. Is that what?
Um, I guess Amber Alert's a thriller. Blink
Okay,
Twice and Last Straw would be horror. Yeah.
okay. So Nausicaa.
Yes.
You said you got about 30 minutes into it
Hmm.
and you weren't digging it.
I don't know.
What?
Something wasn't vibing with me.
Okay.
Maybe I go back and try again.
I don't think you need to go back and try again. I do feel like, so let's see, you're 30 minutes in. You would have,
It's like a 2 hour movie.
yeah, I'm just trying to think where 30 minutes would have gotten you. Because, like, I do believe the movie starts out in a pretty interesting way. You know,
Mhm.
she's kind of in like this snowy, ashy area, gets like an eye from a gigantic
Yeah.
bug.
Yeah. Don't breathe
Um,
in the spores.
yeah, don't breathe in the spores, and then has to go save some master swordsman she knows.
Reminds me of
Uh,
Dune.
Yeah, definitely feels like it. But I would have thought you would have maybe liked this one more because there's more of that action
Right.
element to things. Um, what I would do to like have her like flying thing
Oh,
that thing looks so much fun.
it does look fun.
Yeah.
It does.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you decide not to go back for it. Like we'll give it a week. We'll see if you decide to go
Yeah,
back. If
I
not,
might
we can
try
go
it
to the next.
again.
We can go to another Ghibli movie. But yeah, no, I my interest in that movie gained as we went along,
Okay.
and I liked like you they start to unravel a bit more to you as you continue to go and realize that Nausicaa is just the embodiment of a badass.
True. I get that. So I'll say this, like I will try it again to
Yeah.
get through it, but also pick a next one as well
Yeah,
because
okay,
that
yeah.
way if I don't, I'll just go right into the next one.
Okay. Let's see here. I was gonna say Studio Ghibli movies. Let me just take a look in.
There's a million to choose from.
I know. I just don't want to like we can go to Princess Mononoke if you want. Like Princess Mononoke is by far like, if you know Princess Mononoke. I know you do.
Mhm.
So, it's one of those things where if you really wanted to, we could start off with them or wait till later. Let's see here.
I saw The
Do,
Boy
do,
and the
do,
Heron
do.
streaming now too.
You want to do Boy and the Heron? I
We
can comment on
could.
that one and
Yeah.
I can rewatch Boy and the Heron too cuz I enjoy that one. All right.
Okay.
Boy and the
Yeah.
Heron.
Okay. We'll do that one next. So I will try. I will reattempt it this week, and then I will either go the whole way through, or I'll go, nah, we're good, and I'll jump over to Boy and the Heron.
Yep. Yep, that's what we'll do then. Perfect.
Okay.
You have the
You didn't
floor
watch
then.
anything else?
This weekend's been very busy for me, as
That's
you can
fair.
imagine.
That's fair. All right, let me run through these then. Blink Twice, Channing Tatum, horror. Yeah, I guess it's horror. It's thriller, horror. Channing Tatum's playing a like billionaire. There is a girl who is working at an event that he is going to. She's like a server serving food. She's obsessed with him and finds a way to meet him. He invites her and her friend to his private island to spend time there. And as the days go on, with Channing Tatum and his friends that are there, they start to realize that like something's off about the island and Channing Tatum's character and all that. It's one of those movies where like you're trying to figure out what happens and like what's going on. So me telling you kind of ruins that because that's the whole point of
Okay.
the movie. Easiest way to put it is there's some very messed up things happening on that island, and the whole movie is them slowly figuring out what that is. I thought it was an entertaining movie. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Um, you ever notice there's like an obsession with movies and rich people? Like they're already rich, but they enjoy playing rich people.
Yeah. Maybe it's because it's easy for him.
Yeah, maybe. But I enjoyed kind of seeing Channing Tatum play a villain. It was kind of cool. So I like that aspect of it. I think it's worth a watch. Last Straw. This is a weird one. It's a girl who's working at a diner. She has the late night shift, and there's kids in like masks that are terrorizing her. Very
Damn kid.
straightforward. Dang kids. It's okay. I don't really have like a whole lot to say about it. I'm just trying to watch all of like all the movies coming out, and we're getting to scary season, so trying to watch them. This is probably a pass. I don't think it's anything spectacular. Um, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Amber Alert. Um, these movies are like so cheesy, but I love them to death. Hayden Panettiere, if you know her from
Yeah.
Heroes. Um,
Until dawn.
You're right. Until Dawn. Very simple premise, super simple, there is a little girl who is kidnapped. They put out an Amber Alert, and she happens to be in a, they don't call it an Uber, but she's in an Uber with an Uber driver. They happen upon the car, and they take it upon themselves to follow the car, try to save the kid, that kind of stuff. They've done multiple movies like this in the past couple years. I've watched every single one, and I enjoy them every time. They're just like an interesting, super simple premise. Like, give me an hour and a half of them trying to, like outsmart this guy and figure out a way to get the kid back. And I thought the ending was super cool, super tense. But I would not call it a horror movie. It's definitely just a straight thriller. So if that interests you, you can't go wrong with Amber Alert. This one I don't think you'd ever see, but if I see it on like Blu-ray, I'm probably going to pick it up.
Okay.
To be fair, we're
Yeah.
sucker for those type of movies in this household.
Okay, that's good though.
Yeah.
Nausicaa may not have gotten you, but it looks like Amber Alert
Amber
did.
Alert did. Yeah, there you go.
Well, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast there. We don't have much else to talk about. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of the podcast. We're hoping Craig's back next week. We'll see what happens. If not, it'll just be another 2-man show. We've done this many times. It's
We have.
just to throw back to the OG days of this podcast. So,
Yep.
thank you for listening. If you feel so inclined, please make sure to leave a 5-star review, share it with a friend if you feel so inclined. If you leave a review, let us know what we did well. Let us know what we did wrong so that I can be better. If you are watching or listening on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We didn't talk about it, but I want to know if anybody got any of that 30th anniversary stuff from Sony.
Yeah.
I ended up saying no to it to be more financially responsible
Me too.
than most people. But I want to see if people actually got it. Scalpers everywhere, of course, are taking advantage of the fact that people love nostalgia and will pay a lot of money for it. On this podcast, we don't do that, but stuff looked cool and it looked like it got scalped very heavily. So let me know if you got any of the stuff below and what you're most excited about. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.